Hello, fabulous ladies. Believe it or not, certain colors and combinations can either brighten your complexion, which make you look radiant and youthful, or they can drain the life out of your skin and add years to your appearance. Let's start with two big mistakes that many women don't even realize they're making. One of the biggest mistakes is wearing colors that don't match your skin's undertone. Have you ever put on an outfit and felt like something was off, but you couldn't quite figure out why? It might not be the fit or the style, it could be the color. Everyone has a natural undertone, either warm, cool, or neutral. If you have warm undertones, colors with golden, earthy tones like camel, olive, or warm reds will complement your skin beautifully. On the other hand, if you have cool undertones, shades with a blue or pink base, like navy, soft rose, or icy pastels, will bring out your natural glow. Wearing the wrong undertone can make your skin look dull, washed out, or even highlight fine lines and shadows. An easy trick to find your undertone is to look at the veins on your wrist. If they look blue or purple, you likely have cool undertones. If they look greenish, you're warm-toned. And if you can't really tell, you might be neutral, which means you can wear a mix of both warm and cool shades. Another common mistake is relying too much on trendy colors. Fashion trends change every season, and while it can be fun to experiment, not every trendy shade is going to flatter mature skin. Many brands push neon greens, highlighter yellows, or ultra-bright pinks that may look fun on the runway but can be overwhelming in real life, especially as skin tones soften with age. Instead of chasing trends, focus on timeless, sophisticated shades that enhance your complexion rather than overpower it. Classic shades like deep teal, rich burgundy, and elegant charcoal will always be in style and will flatter you year after year. Now, let's talk about one of the most common color mistakes: wearing too much black. Black is a staple in many wardrobes. It's slimming, it's elegant, and it's easy to match. But as we get older, wearing solid black too close to the face can sometimes have an aging effect. It can create harsh shadows and make fine lines, wrinkles, and dark circles more noticeable. Instead of giving up black entirely, try softening the look with textures, patterns, or accessories. A black dress with a statement necklace, a silk scarf, or even gold jewelry can bring warmth back to your face and keep the look fresh. Do you find yourself wearing a lot of black? How do you style it to keep it looking vibrant? Let me know in the comments below. And then there's the issue of stark white. While it might seem like the perfect neutral, pure, bright white can sometimes be too harsh, especially against mature skin. It can create too much contrast and make the complexion appear sallow or washed out. Instead, go for softer shades like ivory, cream, or off-white. These hues are still crisp and elegant, but offer a much more flattering and luminous effect. A beautiful off-white blouse paired with rich navy or camel trousers can look just as polished without that stark contrast. Now let's talk about another one of the sneakiest mistakes: wearing faded or overly washed out colors. Over time, our favorite clothes naturally fade from washing and wear, but dull, muted colors can make the skin look just as tired. Instead of keeping faded pastels or old neutrals in your wardrobe, refresh your outfits with deeper, more saturated tones. If you love pink, go for a rich berry or a soft rose instead of a faded blush. If you gravitate toward blue, try deep navy or vibrant cobalt instead of a washed-out sky blue. Another subtle mistake: over-relying on beige and taupe without the right balance. While beige can be an elegant neutral, wearing too much of it, especially without contrast, can make the overall look too muted. The key is to pair it with richer tones. A beige sweater looks beautiful when layered with a camel coat and burgundy accessories, but head-to-toe beige without any depth can sometimes look dull and boring. If you love neutral tones, mix in different textures like suede, leather, or silk to keep the look dynamic. And that brings us to another key point: mismatching warm and cool beiges. Not all beige is created equal. Some have yellow or golden undertones, while others lean more toward grey or taupe. Mixing warm beige with cool beige often creates an unbalanced effect that looks slightly off. If you're wearing a warm beige trench coat, pair it with warm-toned accessories like gold jewelry or camel shoes. If your beige leans cooler, silver accents and cooler tones like charcoal will create a more cohesive look. Speaking of which, do you tend to wear more warm or cool neutrals? Let me know in the comments. Now let's talk about red. Red is bold, powerful, and undeniably elegant. But just like beige, not all reds are created equal. One of the biggest mistakes women make is wearing the wrong shade of red for their skin tone. A blue-based red, like a deep cranberry or cherry, looks stunning on cool undertones as it adds a brightening effect to the complexion. Meanwhile, warm-toned women shine in reds with a hint of orange, like a beautiful tomato or terracotta shade. But here's where it goes wrong. Wearing a red that clashes with your undertone can make your skin look lifeless or even overly flushed. Have you ever tried on a red lipstick or dress that just didn't look quite right? That's probably why. But there's a very easy fix to it. When shopping for red, hold it up to your face in natural light. If your skin suddenly looks brighter and more awake, you've found your perfect red. If not, keep searching for a shade that highlights your glow. And speaking of colors that work against you, let's discuss blue. Blue is a universally loved color, and it's often associated with confidence and sophistication. But just like with red, choosing the wrong shade of blue can have an unintended aging effect. For example, muted, dusty blues can sometimes make the skin look pale and tired, especially if your complexion has naturally cooled with age. Instead of those washed out shades, go for deeper, richer blues like cobalt, sapphire, or navy. These shades are elegant, powerful, and polished without looking too harsh. Now, if you're someone who loves softer blues, don't worry. There's a way to make them work. Try pairing them with brightening colors like white, cream, or even a hint of silver. A pale blue blouse layered under a white blazer instantly looks more vibrant and refreshing than wearing that same blouse on its own. Another big mistake I see all the time is people wearing green without considering its undertones. Green is an incredible color. It represents growth, renewal, and elegance. But wearing the wrong green will make your skin look dull and lifeless. Cool greens like emerald or teal work beautifully on cool undertones, while warmer greens like olive or moss complement warm-toned skin. One of the easiest and most elegant ways to wear green is by pairing it with off-white or cream. Olive green trousers with an off-white silk blouse, stunning. A deep emerald blazer with a soft ivory dress, absolutely chic. The contrast brings warmth and dimension to your look while keeping things modern and sophisticated. If you've been avoiding green because you're not sure how to wear it, now's the time to give it another try. Now let's shift gears and talk about metallics. Metallics are a fantastic way to add light and dimension to an outfit, but the mistake many women make is wearing the wrong metallic for their skin tone. Just like with clothing colors, your best metallic depends on whether you have warm or cool undertones. If you have warm undertones, gold jewelry and bronze accents will make your complexion glow. But if you have cool undertones, silver, platinum, or white gold will look much more flattering. Wearing the wrong metallic can actually make your skin look dull or emphasize shadows. And for those of you with neutral undertones, lucky you can wear both. But here's an extra tip. Don't be afraid to mix metals. A gold necklace layered with silver bracelets can add depth and personality to an outfit. Just make sure to balance it. If you're mixing metals, keep the overall look cohesive by sticking to a dominant color and using the second metal as an accent. Now let's talk about pastels. Many women assume that soft pastels are always flattering, but here's the thing. Some pastels can actually make mature skin look washed out. Colors like pale lavender, powder blue, and baby pink can sometimes be too muted and pull the color away from the face rather than enhancing it. So, how do you make pastels work? Choose richer variations of those colors. Instead of baby pink, try a soft rose or mauve. Instead of pale yellow, go for a warm buttery shade. Instead of icy blue, go for a deeper periwinkle. These slightly richer tones will still give you that soft, romantic look, but with more depth and vibrancy. And that brings me to another common mistake: ignoring texture. The same color can look completely different depending on the fabric. A silky navy blouse will reflect light beautifully and make the color look rich and dynamic, whereas a heavy, matte navy sweater might appear flat and lifeless. If you feel like certain colors aren't working for you, try experimenting with different textures. Soft knits, satins, chiffons, or even textured wools can make a huge difference. Now let's talk about a common but often overlooked mistake: ignoring the power of jewel tones. I already mentioned jewel tones briefly, but let me go into a bit more detail. Many women over 50 tend to gravitate toward neutrals, thinking they're the safest and most elegant option. And while neutrals have their place, as we've already learned, they can drain the vibrancy from your look if they aren't chosen carefully. That's where jewel tones come in. Rich, saturated colors like emerald green, sapphire blue, deep amethyst, and ruby red can add instant radiance to your skin. These shades have depth and intensity, which help brighten your skin and bring warmth to your overall look. If you're hesitant to wear bright colors, start small. Instead of a full emerald green outfit, try incorporating it through a scarf, a handbag, or even a statement necklace. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference a touch of color can make. And speaking of adding life to your wardrobe, let's address another mistake: sticking to the same color palette for years. We all have our go-to shades, the ones we've worn for decades and feel comfortable in. But as we age, our skin tone changes, and the colors that once flattered us might not have the same effect anymore. If you've been wearing the same shades for years, it might be time for a refresh. Try experimenting with warmer or cooler tones, depending on how your complexion has evolved. If you've always worn cool pastels, try warming things up with golden or earthy tones. If you've stuck to dark, moody colors, introduce lighter, fresher tones. Sometimes a small shift in color can make a world of difference. Now let's move on to a color combination that often gets overlooked: soft pink and charcoal gray. Pink isn't just for spring, and it's certainly not just for younger women. A soft blush or rose pink can be incredibly flattering, especially when paired with a strong, grounding color like charcoal gray. This combination has the perfect balance of femininity and sophistication. Picture a blush pink sweater with tailored charcoal trousers, or a structured charcoal coat over a soft pink dress. It's subtle, yet elegant, perfect for any occasion. And if pink isn't your thing, you might love the next pairing: deep teal and warm caramel. Teal is one of those shades that works beautifully on almost every skin tone. It's rich, vibrant, and just different enough to make a statement without feeling overpowering. When combined with the warmth of caramel, it creates a look that's both cozy and refreshing. Now let me go back to the mistakes: ignoring contrast. Contrast plays a huge role in how colors interact with your skin and overall look. If you have high contrast between your hair and skin, for example, dark hair and fair skin, bold, high contrast colors will look striking on you. But if you have lower contrast, like blonde or gray hair with fair skin, softer blended colors will be more flattering. A common mistake is wearing colors that are either too strong or too weak for your natural contrast level. The key is balance, wearing the right depth of color to create harmony. Are you paying attention to how contrast affects your outfits? Let me know in the comments. Now, do you know what else gets ignored? The impact of fabric sheen. The way a fabric reflects light can completely change how a color looks on you. Matte fabrics like cotton or wool tend to absorb light and make colors look softer and more muted. On the other hand, satin, silk, or even finely woven cashmere have a natural sheen that reflects light and brightens up your complexion. This is especially important as we age because our skin naturally loses some of its luminosity. Choosing fabrics with a soft glow, nothing overly shiny, just a gentle radiance, can enhance your skin's appearance and give you a fresh, youthful look. Let me give you a perfect example. Instead of a flat cotton blouse in a muted pink, try a silk blouse in the same shade. The slight sheen will instantly elevate your outfit and brighten your face. Another mistake that can unintentionally age you: wearing colors that are too muted or faded. I see many people are gravitating towards softer, washed-out tones, thinking they look subtle and elegant. But here's the catch. Colors that are too dull can actually drain the vibrancy from your face, which automatically makes you look tired. Pastels are beautiful, but if they're too faded, like a dusty pink or a pale grayish blue, they can work against you instead of for you. Instead, choose clear, slightly richer tones that bring out the warmth in your skin. For example, instead of a washed-out lavender, go for a soft, fresh lilac. Instead of a pale, cool beige, try a warm honey or light caramel. These colors will lift your complexion instead of blending into the background. And while we're talking about faded colors, let me move on to another mistake: wearing colors that have physically faded. You might have a sweater you love, but if it's lost its original depth of color and now looks slightly dull or uneven, it's time to retire it. Faded colors can make your whole outfit look older and less polished, even if the piece itself is classic. The solution is simpler than you think. If you love the shade, simply look for a fresh version of it. And when washing colored clothing, use detergents made for color retention, so your favorite pieces stay vibrant for longer. Now let's move to another mistake that can make your outfit feel boring: pairing too many similar warm tones together. Warm colors like camel, rust, gold, and burnt orange are rich and sophisticated, but wearing only warm tones together can make your outfit look flat. For example, an all beige, camel, and brown outfit might feel elegant, but without contrast, it can sometimes make your skin look sallow or washed out. The key is to balance warm tones with a touch of cool contrast. If you love earthy tones, try adding a deep teal scarf, a rich burgundy blouse, or even a sleek grey belt to break up the warmth and create dimension. This small tweak makes a huge difference. Moving on, let's dive into another color mistake: wearing colors that match your hair too closely. While it might sound like a good idea to wear a shade that matches your hair color, doing so can create a monochromatic look that's, well, a little flat. When your outfit and hair blend into one, there's no contrast or definition, which can actually make you look older than you are. For example, if you have blonde hair and wear a pale yellow top or a light beige sweater, you might look like you've disappeared into the background. The key is to create contrast between your hair and your outfit. If you have light hair, try bolder shades like cobalt blue, emerald green, or deep purple. For brunettes, jewel tones like ruby, navy, or dark plum can be stunning. Redheads look amazing in shades of teal, deep blue, and rich earth tones like olive. When you create contrast, your outfit looks more dynamic and vibrant, drawing attention to your face, and you'll look younger and more energized. Have you noticed this in your own wardrobe? Are there colors you avoid because they blend too much with your hair? Drop a comment and let's chat.